Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is a brand new show with my good buddy Rob Multari. Right? I'm representing the Mises, and Rob is representing
the Wolf Pack.
There you go.
Yeah. Right. So thank you for joining us, JD. Do you want to tell them give them a little bit more about yourself, about what you do, and your book, real quick?
Yeah, I'm very presumptuous. I usually think everybody already knows, but I am JD Calderon, the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles and Tall Tales, amongst other things. Soon to come, Dreamweavers, and that's pretty much it. For now.
Right.
There's more coming.
And we're all looking forward to that. And I'm Rob Multari. I am the creator and writer of Nightwolf and Snowpaw, as well as the Wolfpack Pups. And right now, I'm self-publishing through Lone Wolf Comics. And currently, I have a campaign going for this little guy right here. It's nightwolf.wolfpackpups.com. We'll take you to that Kickstarter. But without further ado, let's tell you a little bit about what this show is. This is a new concept that JD and I were joking about one day on his show that we thought we should do. Basically, what it is the best laid plans of mice and men. But in this case, it's of mice and wolves, because we have the mice over here, and we have the wolves over here. And so basically what it is we're going to workshop independent creators' issues that they're having in the industry, and kind of deep dive into it and kind of give them our advice and kind of have a roundtable about it. So I think we should start introducing our guests. Who do we have first, JD?
This guy.
With us a round table, I'm Lancelot, right?
No, you're Percival.
I'm taking the spot, Lancelot.
Percival.
Go ahead and tell the good people out there in digital worlds who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
I'm Lancelot, as previously stated. I run Big Dog Inc. I write 99% of the things. The comic that we're going to talk about tonight happens to be that 1% that is not all written by me. I'm the art director. I do the sales online. I build the campaigns. I go to the cons. I do all of the things and wear all of the hats, including the cat ears. We've been doing this for 14 years now, and it's a whole new world with crowdfunding, and this should be an eye-opening evening, I think.
All right, cool.
Now there's Percival.
It looks like
I was looking for more of a Morgan Le Fay, but that's fine.
I don't think you have the hips.
Travis.
So what do you want to know?
Yeah, introduce yourself, sir.
Who the hell are you?
Yes.
No one knows.
Start with credit card information, bank accounts.
Right.
Where you went to school, where you were born.
How? I could give you all that. They'd still be declined. You're welcome.
He's like, you can't ruin my credit any more than I already have.
You are an independent comic book creator, so yeah, I get it.
I now realize why we're here, Tom. It's actually they have a Credit Karma sponsorship, and they're really trying to help us out. I'm Travis Gibb. I am the owner of Onrie Kompan Productions. We have tons of comics on our line, from Broke Down and Four Dead Bodies, Voodoo Nations, Granite State Punk, Cthulhu Invades, everything you've ever heard of, Holiday Spirits, all sorts of really cool stuff. And we're going to talk about some of the problems I have as I'm growing as a creator.
All right, cool. Now, Rob, if I may, real quick, we were supposed to have two other guests. One of them's running late. The other one's having technical issues. Yes. So, as a first-time show, this is to be expected.
I mean, hey, you know what? There's at least two of the guests here. We've got that far.
You have your Lancelot, JD. You're fine. You're fine.
Apparently, our Percival.
Yeah.
Or Morgan Le Fay, however you want to, whatever. So, all right.
Travis Le Fay. That's it. That's Travis Le Fay. That's the new, it's the new code word.
Morgan's little brother.
I prefer Le Fa.
Oh, man.
It's too bad we can't ever have fun on these shows.
I know, right? So all right, well, since while we're waiting for the other guests to hop back in or to appear, why don't we get started with the first topic? And Tom, since you showed up first, let's start with you, sir. Tell the people out there what is the issue or topic that you would like us to discuss and to help you through, sir.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know that I have an issue, but I think it's one of the important things in crowdfunding, and there's a few different thought processes to looking at all this stuff, and it's just basically the design, it's the layout, it's it's how much words is too many words, it's how many, what size do your images need to be versus the words, it's what's the thought process of the most basic thing in my brain, which is put your damn logo in your picture for your the top of your thing. But then there's also the other layer of like, okay, well, how does all that translate then as well to people that are just using their phone versus their computer, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of people that do things a lot of different ways. My design stuff has evolved over the years a lot. When I started, I was looking at guys like Brian Polito and some other people that this is how they did it. And I kind of took that and said, okay, let me put a little Tom polish on it and make it, not exactly that. And then over the years, I just kind of found my way of like, okay, let me tinker with this and tinker with this and tinker with this to where we are right now. And I think that what we do is good. But I'm open to hearing like people, well, maybe not that much words, maybe this at the top, maybe this is the bottom. Some people put preview pages at the top, some people put preview pages at the bottom. Like, it's all stuff that we can just kind of talk about and see how we all do it differently or similarly. And if there's a way to sort of maximize these design ideas at all.
Right on. Okay. So now that we've heard what the topic is, we'll go around and ask clarifying questions for Tom about the topic. And then once that's done, we'll kind of go in and give him like our thoughts on, what we think he could do to improve, or what we've done for our pages, or what we think should be improved in general.
Right.
So, Travis, do you want to start with questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tom, this is a big anniversary year for you, correct?
Well, it's 14 for us this year. We're rolling into 15.
Okay. Are you thinking that because you're going into 15 that maybe you're shaking things up a little bit to kind of change things up? Is that part of the thought process of this?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, we're definitely going to need to next year market the idea that everything is 15 years old now, or at least the company is, not necessarily the books, but the company is. So there's definitely going to be new graphics and new sort of marketing schemes or whatever, just to, create awareness of 15 years of Big Dog Ink. So that's part of it. But then the other part is just simply, again, I've tinkered with what I've done from different ways, and I've watched other people and I've given advice to other people. Sometimes I think like their images are too small. Like you can't see that shit, but their words are gigantic, or, so I'm open to like, I think that I've streamlined what I've done pretty well, but even this year I have tinkered again and done a couple of things that are kind of new to try out and see what the result is. So I'm just kind of open to all design aspects, placement, image itself, size, social media links. Like, I'm open to whatever you guys might see as, oh, hey, think about that.
Okay. JD, do you have any questions?
When you formulate this thing, like what are your biggest concerns? I mean, you actually, because I've seen your campaign, obviously, and they always look well done. The only issue I have with yours or with anyone's is, and sometimes mine, is the forever scroll.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so, the only thing I could think of is, how do we compress that so that, because you know how it is. People, 15 seconds up, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm cognizant of that, and I've made changes for that for me.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like we do, let's say we do like 9 variant covers, right? We will also make those variant covers available in hollow foil and metal and all that kind of stuff. And so what used to happen is I would have that image of 9, and then I would have essentially the same image, right?
Mhm.
Except that it would say foil or metal or whatever. So I've kind of monkeyed around with that a little bit, to where, but again, it's still essentially the same image, right? So
Right.
I don't know how to get around that outside of condensing it into the main image. So in other words, if I have a book, like here's the book, and it's Blue Jay, and it's $25, right?
Mhm.
I could easily, as I'm thinking about it, be like, also metal 75, like just put it all in one spot. But then again, my question becomes, is the verbiage going to overtake the visual that I have, right?
Right.
So what I've done is, in our stuff is I will have it as, here's our variants, boom, and then I'll break it, and it'll be, what do I call them? Specialty editions. And then, you'll go through, so it's the same images again, but it'll say foil metal, foil metal, foil metal, foil metal. So, there is a break so that you're not just in this like stream of consciousness. There's like a break. Plus I usually put it after a couple other things. So it'll be like variant covers, a couple of like, I don't know, combo packs or something, right? And then it'll break down like, oh, and specialty editions are down here, so on and so on. So to me, the scroll of death comes from the folks that have too many like just bizarre combinations of things. That's a thing that when I look at their campaigns, I'm like, dude, no one can even see what this is because the images get too small. Like it just becomes noise. But in our stuff, I try and keep the images big, and then again, there's like segments of these things, and some of them even change the backgrounds. So like the background for like the Big Dog Inc. universe, where you can buy trade paperbacks and stuff, it has a different color scheme than the ones that have that we just do like, hey, these are the new variants, color scheme, design, whatever. And then as you go down, it's like, oh, Big Dog Inc. universe, something's changed, and it's a very clear visual change. And now we're into the trade paperbacks and so on and so on. So I try and create visual breaks as we go through the long scroll of doom, as they call it. Yeah.
So all right, so Onrie, welcome. Before we get into who you are and what you're doing here, let me finish.
Yeah, what are you doing here
with Tom? So I don't break that train of thought. So my questions for Tom, for clarification, are when you're talking about you're doing the variant and then you're doing the same image for like the foil cover or whatever, are you like making like a mock-up of that variant cover, or is it the exact same looking image?
I have done sort of mock-up foil things in the past, like put a rainbow sheen over it or whatever, right? I've done it. I'm lazy. I don't want to do it anymore. And so I just reverted back to people get it. People get it. I'm going to rely on them to understand that it says foil, it says metal. They know what they're getting versus trying to create some weird holographic, thing. But if the thought process is that, that would help in sales, I'm open to doing that again. I mean, it's just an extra step, right? It's just fucking, how many extra steps do you want? It's like, even when everybody was happy about Kickstarter putting that picture above the reward, right? So it matches, what you're getting. I'm like, motherfucker, that's another step that we got to do. So for me though, I templated a lot of that stuff, and I can reuse images again and again. So, you still have to do it for all the new stuff, but it's like, at least you can, do it that way. But, to me, there has to be a fine line between creating the perfect campaign and how much time you're putting into it versus then your return, right? Like, I hear, and part of what I do is a template as well. And especially since I've done this so many times now, like when I do Princesses versus Zombies again, I just go back to the last campaign. I pull that reward image out and I'm just like, plop, there's the new cover, plop, there's the, I change the artist name. So I try and simplify it for myself as much as possible. Plus, if it's a template and it looks the same each time in design, then as the backers come in, they're used to what they're seeing. I'm not jarring them with like, oh, wait a minute, I don't understand where everything is anymore. Like I'm used to seeing this system. And so that's where I've run into the template sort of concept. I kind
of find that to be the problem with like when I look at a Polito or one of those like major.
Oh, it's like it's batshit. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like I have no idea how to even like buy from this.
I can't. And I buy from there, and I'm actively looking at campaigns all the time, and I look at his stuff, and I'm just like, where the fuck is anything that I'm trying to find? And part of it is because he does a lot of combo stuff too. So it's like you're getting this and this and this and this, and I'm just like, well, but all I want is that part of it. Like, and he's like, nope, you got to come over this way, and just like, it's chaos. It's chaos. But he has trained his fans and his backers to understand what they're looking at, right? And they've been doing it for years. So that is part of this whole thing with design is that if you can create something that your fans and backers can be comfortable with, then that's step one, because you want them to keep coming back. You want them to come back every time and be comfortable. I'm coming back. I know that I'm scrolling down. Here's the variants. I want that Brian Peterson. I'm clicking on it and I'm done. And then if that is easy for them, it should be an easy entry point for anybody that doesn't know what you do. That's what's in my brain.
All right. So Onrie, I know you jumped in late to this. So basically what we're talking about here is Tom basically is kind of going into how he can improve Kickstarter pages, or what should we be doing, or what he should be doing, how he should arrange it, stuff like that. Do you have any clarifying questions for him?
Actually, I always love hearing what Tom has to say, and honestly, Tom has helped me kind of really navigate and understand how to utilize Kickstarter. And it's basically just you're opening up shop. And you want to make everything he said was on point about you want to make it as simple for everybody to jump on as possible. You want to try and get as many of those backers from your previous campaigns as you can to come back for the next ones. And Tom, one thing I remember hearing from you, this was years ago, it was about you were saying don't be afraid to just keep going back, keep hitting that launch button, come back with something, even if your campaign doesn't fund. Come back, make the necessary improvements and hit that launch button, because every time you come back, you're going to get new backers. You're going to get those old backers coming back, but you're going to continuously grow. And, that's something I've been trying to kind of work on with this campaign that I'm doing right now, is rather than, go on Facebook every day, which I've still had to do, and be like, hey, we're $20 away from being 50% funded, or, I'm trying to avoid those kind of posts and try and focus more on what can I do to engage people differently. And it was actually something Brian Polito said to me at Planet Comic-Con a couple of years ago. I came up to him and he goes, the whole idea is you want to come up with a different way to ask. You got to come up with a new creative ask for getting new backers. And, I also think part of it's coming here and talking with you guys. And, Travis is another person that I look up to when it comes to doing crowdfunding campaigns, because he's so involved in the community, and he does a lot to help out everybody else, and that's something that I think is also an important aspect of it too, because it's not just about you, it's about everybody else. It's a collective, it's a community. All
right. Well, let's kind of circle back with Tom's question. So that your question is your issue is basically marketing and continuing the building growth.
Yeah, right? I want to get right now I'm at 82 backers.
Right. Okay. Well then, so let's
get more. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. So what would, like I said, we'll do Tom's issue, and then we'll move the table around, and then each creator will get a chance to do their topic and everything. So we want to keep everybody on track here.
Sure, of course.
Yeah. So let's start opening up to who has ideas or thoughts for Tom, how he can arrange, his page or to maybe not so much completely blow up his template, but to like kind of help him, with what he has going on now and how he can improve moving forward.
I mean, do we want to look at the campaigns quickly as we're doing this?
Pull it up, we can talk about it while we're looking at it. JD, do you?
Because not everybody's going to know what we're talking about. We all kind of know each other, but anybody that's watching the show.
Oh yeah, it's definitely helpful to have a visual aid.
I mean, Tom, I'll be honest with you. I just think you should nuke it, start from the beginning, just put 2 levels, and that should be the end of it.
Just 2 reward tiers.
Just 2 reward tiers. That's it. And I think you'll be good.
It's probably fair.
1 in 100, and that's it.
That's it. There you go.
You're either in or you're out.
Yeah, hey, get it all or don't.
Yep.
All right. So I shared it with you guys.
Okay. Okay, good.
So, let me get rid of that stupid pop-up.
Oh yeah, that thing keeps coming up.
Blurb.
Oh yeah.
So we'll do a quick scan. I'm not here to like really pitch the campaign necessarily, but if anybody has questions, you can ask. So I kind of always tend to have the whatever logo for the book is usually always right here. We do a little bit of description of what the hell the thing is, usually keeping it very simple. In this case, we go right into some of the pages because this is an anthology. So we have 3 different stories in it. So we show you immediately what the book looks like through the art, plus a little break telling you, okay, this is Critter, this is Blue Jay, this is Oz, right? So it's a little different than normal, but similar enough. And then we have our stretch goals right at the top here. That way, as we're unlocking them, and people are coming in, they'll see them at the top. We don't have to wait. We want them to see that they're getting bonuses if we're unlocking bonuses. So we put those there, and then we just go right into the rewards. And I've got all of our rewards now. You'll see it. It's one big image. It's not broken. And then this is how we do the stuff, right? So you get the big image. You can see over to the left how many are made. And then there's a little description of what it is. It's Allison. It's $25. It's Nei. This is what you get. And then, these are all the new variants right at the top. Then we go into, so again, we separate it, right? So we have the Scroll of Doom, but we separate it and we change the design a little bit. So we have a different header character right there. So these are the fan service covers. They get a little sexier, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we break it again. We have the all-in package. Hey, did you just see all that? Guess what? You can get all of it in one shot. Boom, there's that. Then we have little swag packs, like, again, just little additional things that we're adding to it, the metal cards, whatever. And then we're back in. There's the specialty editions. Again, broke a new image. Same images as up top, but now it says foil and metal gives you the price, blah, blah, blah. And then we come down here, and now we're in a completely new image with all of our BDI Universe stuff. And then finally, same thing, BDI Universe, but it's all the art prints. And then we've been putting all of our social media at the bottom, like this down here. So each one of those things is clickable. You just, wherever you want to follow us, you can click those things and it goes right to wherever we go. So that's a generality of what all of our campaigns tend to look like. So,
and Tom, I missed it, but like, what is it you want to work on? Because in my mind, like when I'm looking at this, like you're kicking ass and taking names.
Well, it's not necessarily that I need to work on it per se, but I'm open to the thought process of, well, Tom, maybe your pictures are too big, too small. Maybe there's too much wording. Like, let me get back into the visuals here. Like, is there too much words here? Does that stuff even matter? Because all of that, for example, all of that information, the stretch goals and the shipping and all that kind of crap, that's also listed in the reward listing. So the question might be, do I even need all of that includes part here in this particular spot? I'm just looking for whatever thought processes might come through as you see this and you go, well, that rubs me the wrong way, or, ooh, that's really good, whatever it happens to be.
So I really like that you put the social media in there. I think that's a really nice touch because, like, You don't want your following to just be limited to one channel or one source. So the fact that you're like saying like, here, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, all this stuff, I think is really good. That's something I didn't do in my campaign. And,
it's something that's new for me. I guess my question would be, because we're talking about the Scroll of Doom, maybe that needs to be up higher. Maybe it needs to be one of the things that we do right off the bat. Like, hey, you're here, follow us before you.
Yeah, but you want them there to pledge to your campaign. I think that's
of course
the thing. Like I think you got it in the right place. Like it should be down there because anybody who's going to follow you and take that extra step will scroll down to the bottom and do that. But and it's not necessarily like I think it is important because like you're out there, like we're both out there reselling comics. Like people know where to find us if they're looking for us. And I think you just got it. I think you got it in the right place. Like, honestly, I'm going to steal this idea from you in the future.
Well, then if you're going to put it at the bottom, I'm definitely going to move it.
I might have to change my social media information.
So, Travis, did you have a question?
No, I have some things that I think could help Tom.
Okay.
That I think are advice for Tom.
Yeah, go.
And I want to share an experience with Tom. One of the things that Tom does better than I think a lot of people, to just give you credit. I remember one time I backed Urza Major, and I think it was like issue 3. And I had no idea it was issue 3 because you hit it very well in the stuff, which I'm not sure if it was helpful or not, right? Like I was upset that I got issue 3, but I also was like, well played. I do this on the regular. So like to get me to back, and I'm thinking it was a number 1, which brings that excitement. And I think all comics should go back to the days of yore. I'm not one of those guys who are always about the days of yore, but I back in the day when I went to a comic store, it was okay if it was issue 154. It was okay. It didn't bug me. It was okay. like was it going to be the end of the world? I didn't need to wait to the next reboot.
Yep.
So here's some of the stuff that I would do differently on yours, which I think would be really helpful for you. Can you guys scroll up a little bit to the like one of the descriptions?
Oh yeah, like this stuff.
Yeah. So right there, see where it says Alice. I think, especially for this one, is showing the anthology and having your logo for the Wicked West would be really good over top of it.
Okay.
And what also, let me add to that. I think because you have so many add-ons, if you get a short banner, a small banner with a small description, like a 2-sentence description, logo, maybe a character for all of your stuff that you hit and paste in these things will be really useful. So then at the bottom of the page, when you do the add-ons, people know kind of what they're about. They're more likely to buy, because if you go to the bottom, you're like Ursa Major. You buy it. Look, you like this guy or not? Kaiju. If you don't know what a kaiju is, you're an idiot. But Blue Jay, those are easy. But then Blue Jay, I don't know anything about that character. I don't know, is it a villain? Is it a hero? I think giving a little bit of those and creating some of those small graphics would really help. Yep. And especially when you're doing the anthology, I think someone who's scrolling through here fast, who's not familiar with your stuff, may be interested if they see the logo of what that is instead of assuming what it is.
Yep.
I think too, another thing to play off of that is making headers, like graphical headers that you can.
Yeah.
Well, right, but I mean, using those graphical headers also as those header links on the side where where it says story and risks. Now you're able to do those. So you could do like for the anthology, you could have like Critter, you could have Oz, you could have like those. Then you could jump to that section.
So let me ask this question to everybody. Who here has actively ever clicked on one of those things on somebody's campaign?
I have.
So less than 50%. And see, this is a lot of my problem, right? And I come at this honestly. It's a lot of my problem. A lot of the stuff that I do because it's the way that I work, right? Like when I go to a campaign, I don't play your video. I don't click on your side links or any of that kind of stuff. I literally go in and I scroll your campaign and I find the stuff that is an attractor to me. So this is why this type of talk is good, is because it makes people sort of understand how other people work, and to not just discount something just because you don't do it that way. There's other people that could do it that way. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Another suggestion too might be to inject a little bit more like actual body copy like this here, just throughout the campaign, but more so you want to think of Kickstarter's also a search engine. So you want, this is more so for finding like the new audience, not people who are looking for your campaign because they know where to find you, right? But if you're putting like the keywords of what your, what your stuff is like, or what, people's interest, like, say, like if you use a little bit more of those keywords, when people are searching that kind of stuff in the search bar, your campaign will be easier to pop up to the top of the search.
So doesn't the search just draw off of the title?
Not entirely. I mean, it is a giant website with an algorithm, so it does a little bit pull off of when you're doing the search. But also, not only that, but like searching through Google, like it will pull up stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, that's coming from a web guy's standpoint. That's why I usually have a lot of body copy that's not inside of, in the images. Whereas like I do have some, like mostly in like the rewards
But then again, like the body copy, like just adding this stuff in, who's reading this? So the value of it comes from a different perspective though. Like you're saying, like Google will eat that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But when a person comes to your campaign, like there's only so much of this they're going to read.
Right.
And so my concern would be that if you're doing too much of that, again, you're just increasing the scroll of doom.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my only sort of retort on that.
Right.
And again, it's another step, man, to just fill this thing up with stuff that no one, is going to end up reading.
Well, but the thing is you're using backer kit. So, I mean, when you look at the stats, how many new backers are you getting per campaign? Because those are going to be the people that are going to read that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know that a new backer means that they read anything, right? Because they could read this, like Clockwork Kitten, it's Critter, okay, but to read any of this stuff up here, I mean, that's a different world.
When I visit a brand new campaign, that's the first thing I look for.
Okay.
Is that blurb? I know that's what I do. I don't know about anybody else.
I look for how many pages it is, and then I look at the price. And if I say this is not comparative to the actual page rate, see ya.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, legit. Like if I don't see if it's like 24 pages and it's like $30 book, and that's the minimum, I'm like, there's something wrong here.
Gotcha.
I do the same thing. I make sure it's not $30 shipping, so I don't have to dox you on the internet, and then I'm fine, and I proceed to doing what I need to do.
See, that guy, he blew it. He should have had a $35 book and $5 shipping, and Travis would have said nothing.
I would have said nothing and bought it.
Exactly what he would have done. Something that so a couple years ago, I had Oriana Leckert look at my campaign once and asked her what her thoughts were on how to arrange it. And what she told me at the time, and this could have completely have changed within that couple year span. She said, about having that stuff at the top is very good. Having the preview pages next so that people see what they're getting, and then kind of a little bit of like, the social proof, and then having, then showing the creators so that people know that you're real people. That's more like towards bottom content, which kind of goes to, and she also said to put each creator's social link so that they can visit the creator. She thought that was something that was important because I didn't have those social links for everybody. But that was something like at the bottom, kind of like similar to what you're doing with yours, that she had suggested. She said, people want to see what it is first and then see who it is, so that they can, see if they like it and then they see if they can trust you.
Yeah, and this is on my other. Again, this is a sort of an abnormal one for me. But when we do our sort of new versions of things, we specifically have like graphics and stuff for the creators, for the artists, for it's a little more like, this is who we are, this is who you're getting in this thing, kind of at the top, versus all of the chit chat that we're doing here. It's a little more graphic oriented and listing of the artists and so on, which we didn't do as much here because I thought like, hey, I've already got all this other shit, like let's just get into it and go. So again, this is sort of an outlier from what we normally do, but it's got enough, overlay that we can.
I mean, it's definitely a great looking campaign. That is for sure. So does anybody have any final thoughts for Tom on how they think he can improve an already good looking campaign?
I already gave my opinion in the beginning. So 2 levels,
two reward tiers, one book or all books.
That's it. I think that'll do it. No, I mean, honestly, the only thing that I can suggest is what I'm doing is like my next camp. Well, one of my next campaigns, the second one, whatever. Dreamweavers. I have a not safe for cover, and I have a bikini cover, and I have the safe for work cover. And what I do is I tend to make a graphic that has all 3 of them stacked, and then I just write on the bottom some copy available in this, and this, and this. And then I just move it on. And that's just one graphic, and then I just move on to the other. And I do each cover like that. And I found that because I was going to do it like 1, 1, and 1, but it just felt like it just scrolled forever. So I did it like that just to make it a little bit more truncated. Whether or not it works, who knows? But, we'll see.
I guess we'll find out on what you said, August 19th?
Yep. Maybe sooner. You never know.
Just pull the trigger whenever.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That happens. All right. So listen.
All right. So Onrie, Travis, any last minute thoughts for Tom?
I already gave you my sage advice. I have to charge for anything beyond what I just said. So
I'm with JD. I think that it should be only 2 tiers. That's it.
The all or nothing tiers.
All or nothing. That's it.
All or nothing.
All right. You win it. You're in it to win it.
Sounds good. Well, Tom, did that help you with anything, or did you just basically get to the conclusion which you already had?
No, I mean, again, this is a little bit different, but it didn't even occur to me to set up like the logos for it to put it with the. It didn't occur to me for a second, and that makes a lot of sense. And I can actually fix that tonight. So.
Well, there you go. See, you got a good takeaway from this. Then that's what this is for. That's why we're here, to help think outside of the box of what we're seeing. A, B, C. Somebody else is going to tell you Z, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's what we're here for. It's good. We're a good start. All right. So, Onrie, since you didn't get a really good chance to introduce yourself, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
So I am self-publishing my own comics. I have a campaign right now for my newest series, Warline, which was had a very successful campaign for the first issue, and now we're back for issue 2. And going into this campaign, I didn't want to do the typical thing of like Warline 1 and 2. I wanted to make it more of an event. So I call it the Warline Returns campaign. And I think people kind of get the idea that it's like issues 1 and 2. And I've been trying to kind of do things a little bit differently in order to market this a little bit less, I don't want to say aggressively, but a little less like obvious, because like everybody's got their Kickstarters and everybody's got their thing going up. I basically have been at this now for a while, but I haven't really been utilizing Kickstarter. Like most of my career, I've been making money going to conventions and selling my books at cons and just reprinting based off of what I earned from the conventions. So I really started using Kickstarter. The first time I launched a campaign was in 2015, but I never went back to the well often. I only went one time. I think I did one campaign, I don't think I did one campaign in 2015, and it was like a joint campaign with another crowdfunding company in Korea. So we did we raised 10,000 in the US and we raised an additional 20,000 in Korea. So it was really cool. And then that led to me getting a foreign publishing deal, and I got flown out to Korea, and I went all over the country and stuff like that, which was really cool. But then after that, I didn't go back to Kickstarter until 2018. And there was a really long gap in between my fulfillment because I didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. But I got it all taken care of, and then COVID hit, and I started paying attention to what all the other independent creators were doing and how they were utilizing this platform. And I'm still learning, and my output is not the same as what most creators are doing because my full-time job is selling. I'm selling comics. So, and not just stuff I publish, but, the stuff that, I buy for collectibles and stuff like that too. So, back issues and things like that. So, I'm looking to basically build off the crowdfunding platform more. And the thing I'm kind of starting to realize is it's really about doing fast, doing shorter campaigns. So I'm not doing 30-day campaign with this issue too. I just think it's a waste of time. I'd rather just cut it down, trim the fat, do it for, 18 days. And that way I get, two pay periods for people, like, the middle of the month and the start of the month. So I can get those nice bursts. And I don't have to sit in the meadows for as long. And I also have I feel like I put the right expectations in place, and I'm right where I want to be right now with the campaign. But, I don't want to be at that point where I'm falling behind. Obviously, when we get on Kickstarter, we want to raise as much money as we can, and we want to get as far beyond our goal as possible. So I think I'm kind of I'm definitely not where Tom is with everything, where it's just here's a little tweak that could help with this. It's I really want to kind of get a sense of what I can do to help attract more people to my campaigns. And, I'm open to any suggestions. I mean, I know that I'm honored to be around you guys right now because there's some really smart people in this room, and, I'm totally fine getting, some critiques from you guys. And,
all right, let's tear his thing apart. Let's bring it up. Let's rip it apart. Let's go. I'm ready. Put our claws into this.
Yeah, Onrie, if you want, you can share your campaign and I'll pull it.
Yeah. I'll do that right now for you.
But before you do that, I just want to show this off. This is hilarious. Onrie,
he wants to connect.
You might want to connect with Davies Hannah because
Hey, I'd like to connect with her in more ways than just crowdfunding here. All right, I want to put it out there that I'm single, so just
there you go.
Single and ready to mingle.
There you go.
She is absolutely real, and she will help you. You just got to give her money. In fact, I guarantee you she can get you a pledge just like that.
Oh yeah.
It'll probably leave right before the campaign, but it'll be there for a little bit. It'll be very
or the card will error.
Get you a pledge by giving her a pledge in the bigger.
That is hilarious.
Oh my god, that's amazing. All right, yeah. So Onrie, go ahead and pull that up for us.
I got it.
By the way, she said your project caught her eye. Bullshit. That was my project, Dave.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I stole your thunder, Tom. I'm sorry.
That's hilarious. So, Onrie, before we start scrolling through and giving you pointers and stuff, so let's clarify exactly what your question is. Is it more about what you can do better about your page or the marketing of the page?
I think the marketing of the page, I'm really looking to I want to find ways to work with I was talking with Charlie Stickney, and he was talking about how he's built, all this following for White Ash and over the years. And he's had over 6,000 people pledged to a campaign. So when he goes in and he does a campaign, even if he just gets 300 backers, he's already ahead of the game. Mm-hmm. I had 200 backers for the previous Warline campaign. Obviously I can't expect all of them to come back, but I'd like to hit those numbers. I'd like to see that grow. And so it's more the marketing that I'm interested in. I mean, obviously any pointers you guys want to give me about how I've displayed stuff too, that's cool too. But
your logo in the cover of the top of your campaign.
The logo at the top?
Holy shit. Yes.
Oh, because I didn't have it on the image.
Right. Yes, the image, yes.
Okay, got it. All right.
Because that's branding 101. Put your fucking logo on your thing.
I got it. All right, that's
Now,
let me just ask you this. When was the last time you saw Pepsi didn't tell you what they were? When's the last time you saw McDonald's? When's the last time you saw Coffin Comics not tell you who they were?
Yes.
Yes.
That's 100% right.
Now, I will say this in your defense, Kickstarter, for whatever reason, tells people don't put any words in your thing. And I see this all the time. People don't put their logos. Words are one thing, but there's no logo. There's nothing that tells anyone what the fuck is going on in that image. And as people are scrolling through hundreds of campaigns, assuming that they're on Kickstarter, scrolling through hundreds of campaigns, you need that War Lion, that logo there.
And what's great is that's like an easy thing to fix.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Got in there. So yeah, thanks, Tom.
Everybody's chasing that project we love.
Yeah, and I don't even know how to get that. Like I got that once from my
Don't even worry about it. It is meaningless.
It's a nice marketing tool, but it's not a necessary one.
Yeah.
So all right. So while we scroll through, or JD scrolling through, I'm not sure who's controlling right now. Is it Onrie or JD?
I got it.
All right. So while JD scrolls through, let's get some clarifications for Onrie. Anybody have any questions about like what he's doing, how he's marketing it now, what he's trying, stuff like that?
Well, you said that you're not going out daily and like pounding, hey, my God. And I get that 100%. I'm that guy. I've pulled back, but
are you though? Like, I don't see you going like, I see you putting up a graphic.
Yes.
I don't see you being like this is something I did yesterday. Like I was like, all right, I got to raise $120 so I can get like to that 50% funded goal. Yeah. I'm like, nothing's happening. I sent out an update to a previous campaign to see if I could get previous backers to come on. It's like, nothing's happening. And I'm like, shit, now I got to go on Facebook and I got to do this. And I hate doing it. I
don't do that.
Yeah.
That's all. I just don't do it. Like I used to do that whole thing. We're 10 backers away from 100. Like, come on in, or, we're 50. It's like
doing that.
I used to do all of that. I don't do it anymore. All I do is promote at this point. This is me every day. I'll still do it basically every day, but it'll be like, here's an image. It's Nia Rufino. Here's the book. Sometimes I post the link. Sometimes I don't, because we all know how algorithms work and they don't like the link. So it's sort of a 50-50 thing on the link. But I never come in really hardcore, like we need to get to a thing. When we make a milestone, like stretch goal number 2 is unlocked or whatever, I go talk about that. I'll be like, hey, we reached stretch goal number 2. Woohoo. And then I'll say something like, we're on our way to number 3, or,
that's fine.
But I don't come in like day to day, like we need 5 backers. We need 5 backers. We need $100. Like, I don't do that, but I do still post something just to talk about it. Like, let's talk about the interior art. Let's talk about this cover.
That was something I did today. Like, I decided to put focus. We had Chris Mad do a cover. So I was like, okay, today it's Mad Tuesday. So I talked about
why didn't you do it on Mad Monday?
Mad Monday was me trying to get over that 50%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Mad Tuesday. So I talked about, but you're right. I mean, Mad Monday would have been better, but
marketing, Onrie, marketing. We're doing it for you.
Yes. But, I talked about, what it was like getting him on the project, like what I, giving him liberty to do what he wanted with it, and not making it about, hey, come back this campaign, but hey, look at this cover. It's really cool. Check the comments and you can find out how to get this cool cover. Yep. And that post did not get me any pledges, but it was still an important pledge it was still an important post because it got eyes in front of what I was, in front of the post. So on that aspect, it's good. But then this is the problem with Facebook too, is I can post something about my campaign and then someone else will post something and they'll tag me because they're promoting their Kickstarter. And now their post is above mine. And I don't want to untag myself from their post.
No, untag yourself.
But you know what else you could do is you don't necessarily even need to untag yourself. If you change your settings of your profile, it doesn't automatically post. So it'll ask you if you want to add it to your profile. So you could still be technically tagged on it, but not show up on your page.
Got it.
Like you have to get permission.
It's hurting my algorithm. Like people are seeing like someone else's campaign, which I don't want to be an asshole and not help promote someone else. But at the same time, it's like, my page is, I got to utilize it to the best of my ability, you know.
Tagging others doesn't necessarily help your campaign as far as being on their profile, because unless they post it, that's where they get more of the traction. Whereas like if you're tagging somebody, it lets them know that you have it, and if they want to share it, that's one thing. But if they don't share it, and they basically, if they're tagging you, you're not sharing it as your own post, then it's pointless.
Right. Also, the thing is when you say they tag it, are they pushing your post down? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they're pushing my post down, and I don't think it's an intentional thing. It's not like
you can always just pin it. I always pin mine to the top. So whenever my latest post is, I pin it to the top of my page. So then that way, whoever comes after, they're going to be down. You know, they're going to be underneath it. So that's the one thing I would suggest. You know,
but even though how many people are actually coming to your profile and actually looking, if it's not in the feed, it's usually gone. To be quite honest. But okay, before we continue on, let's Travis, do you have any clarifying questions for Onrie?
Yes. So is your bigger concern how to tackle the social media aspect of this, or the page layout of this? Because I'm still not 100% clear, because we've been
it's the social media. It's the social media. I mean, if there's anything you want to add to the whole page thing, I'm happy to hear that.
Sure. And we can do that. So follow up question to that: what platforms do you use on social media, and where are you best at?
Facebook, and I do use Instagram occasionally, but I'm not using Twitter that much. I've tried using TikTok, and I get a lot of views on my TikTok videos, but it doesn't lead to anything. You know, there's no click through on TikTok. So
that's typical.
Yeah. So
TikTok wants you just to keep scrolling.
Yeah, I just use Facebook. Facebook's been my go-to for everything.
Okay. All right. JD, do you have any?
Hold on. Third question to add to the last part. Are you in many groups? Not that I love groups, but I just need it for clarification. Groups on Facebook.
I mean, I am, like, I would say I'm in a number of groups, but I haven't been like actively like posting into those groups. You know, I don't want to be that guy either who's like, you know, going into a group and
marketing 101, be that guy.
Okay.
Because Facebook algorithms, all social media algorithms are shit. So just post, just go. Now, again, most of them will be like, hey guys, post like one time a day. Just post one time a day. It's fine. Here's a cover, here's an interior, here's whatever you want to say. Just go. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks, Tom. Thank you.
My other statement, so we're not at statement yet. Never mind. Those are my questions.
Yeah. All right. So JD, question.
I mean, this had okay, because the reason I keep putting it on this page is that you have a lot of people on your staff, right? Whether they've done one cover, interiors, whatever it is they do, right? I'm wondering, and I mean, you know, and this is something that a lot of us have struggled with, you know, are they helping you?
Yeah, they absolutely are. They absolutely are.
Yeah, okay, that's the other thing. Are they helping you, you know, promote the campaign?
Yeah. Dexter's posting consistently. You know, I know Chris has shared. I know, you know, all these guys are great. You know, Chuck.
Okay, yeah. Because I know Kanan White has a bit of a following. I know Fishley. No, not Fishley. The other guy.
Fabrice.
Staniak.
Staniak. Yes.
Yeah, I know he has a bit of a following.
Yeah.
And then you got that guy Chuck.
Yeah, I do have that guy Chuck, and Chuck has been great. I mean, Chuck is he's excellent at it. But you know, I think what Tom, what you've said is great about going into the Facebook groups and posting. And Travis, thank you for bringing that to my attention. You know, changing out that graphic, I think, is also a good small cosmetic thing. I mean, I know it's not a perfect campaign in terms of like presentation, but you know, like I used what I did in previous campaigns as like a springboard for building this one out, you know,
it's definitely a good stepping stone to do that.
And you have good images. I mean, your stuff is very marketable. So, you know, just use that and just get it out. You know, unfortunately, the marketing from a social media standpoint, it's the same answers every time. Just do more, just do more, just do more. You know, there's ways you can be creative with it. as far as, designing the image that you're going to post. There's ways to be creative with it, like with the caption that goes with it. You don't want to be the guy that's like, come back my campaign, I need 100. Like, no, just be like, we're making an awesome book. It's called Warlion. We're on issue 2. Look at this badass thing by this badass artist. And, every day it's badass. Hey guys, it's badass. It's really cool. Yeah. Come get it. And don't worry about like where you are, because they don't care. The buyer is not less than 1% of buyers will be like, oh, I'll back him to put him over whatever. They're going to back it because they've decided to back it, not because you need $50.
And that's what you want, right? I mean, you want people. It's just like when you're at a con, you want people to buy your book because they're interested in buying the book, not just because they want to throw you a couple bucks. Like, you want them to go home and read the freaking book and then tell you what they think about it. You want to keep that engagement going, and that. So yeah, no, absolutely.
So, all right, before we get further into the comments and how we can help with the marketing, I'm going to ask my questions and then we'll move along. So, are you using an email? Are you collecting emails? Yeah. Are you using like anything like BackerKit Launch, or just
I just use my email list. So I have like over 5,000 subscribers on my email list on my newsletter. So I'm just hitting that, and these are emails that I've generated over the years from people that I met at conventions. So it's like, but I mean, as you guys know, it's like the amount of people that actually open up these emails is like really a small fraction, and the amount of people that are engaging. But I send out emails on a weekly basis because I'm promoting all my live stream sales shows. So it's like people are used to getting emails from me on a weekly basis. But, when I do everything for the Kickstarter, like that's when I'll send out that extra email per week. And, I feel like it helped a lot.
Are you like, so when you're doing your regular sales for your collectible stuff during a campaign, when you have one of those, are you like injecting a little, hey, also remember we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not like a main focus, but if I have like, I'm actually about to go on the air right now to do a show, like, and I actually have to get off the air in a couple minutes here. But usually when I go on the air, like that'll be something I'll mention. I'll be like, hey guys, like, because it's different. Like it's my show. I have 2 hours. I got a broadcast, so like I can come in and say, hey, like check out the campaign. But the focus,
Chompy, it's the Michael Jackson bad. It's a different vernacular.
Yeah. There's not equivalent in Spanish.
All right. So since Onrie has to get off here soon, let's anybody have any suggestions what to do, how to help that we haven't already discussed?
Yeah, let me give you some feedback, Onrie.
Sure,
so a couple things. One thing, because you have you've created 6 campaigns and you have a decent backer number, you might want to consider, and I'm sure Rob is going to say this, and I'm going to steal it from him. Consider BackerKit Launch. So what it is, it's a separate part of BackerKit that you can send out an email. That's $100, but it'll send it out to everyone who's backed any of your campaigns. I know you're getting them in the updates, but trust me, you're not. In one launch, you'll see some backers. You'll at least make your $100 back. I can promise you that. Beyond that, you normally do pretty well. So that's one of the things that you should do that I think would be a big deal. The other thing is I think that would be wise for you is you have a face that does very well on video. Mm-hmm. I would do a Facebook Live talking about some of these things, talking about the book and doing it just by itself. Not when you're selling your books. I know it's tough because it's extra work. But if you did just a half-hour show, especially if you could grab Chuck on or somebody, people will follow Chuck, that guy anywhere because it's funny. And he's Canadian, and we just want to see if he's alive. Since he's moved there, we've all been scared because Canadian is just wilderness, right? It's a bunch of naked people with
spears.
With spears. Naked people, maple leaf spears, and maple syrup.
Yeah, but I like that idea a lot, Travis, and I definitely think BackerKit Launch. I did it with the last Warline campaign, and it got me $75 worth of pledges from doing it. But it doesn't hurt to do it. I think to keep trying it, because again, it's like what you're saying. Like, you're right. The updates, not everybody's going to see the update. Like every time I get an update email from another campaign, like I can scroll over that very easily, you know?
And especially like when you have multiple and people are doing the multiple updates, I just kind of just shut my brain off to that. Where I have an actual folder where all of my my Kickstarter update emails go into a box and they just end up getting deleted. So
go ahead. No, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of like the nice thing about BackerKit launch is that it's taking all of those campaigns as you ever done, dumping into one big email list, and then sending it out to everybody. And that's especially with you using it for this will be like your second time. It's still fairly fresh for the emails. It's not as spammy as say for me, I've been using it for years now. So like I'm sure my emails are probably now just like any other email hitting the spam filters.
Right, exactly. No,
yeah, I would just say this: don't underestimate, despite what Rob just said, the update. I get so much reaction from when I do updates, like far more than I get from my email list, like ever. Even from a semblance of like the sign up page or whatever. I'll do updates through old campaigns, like, hey, sign up for this thing, and like 100 in like a day.
Are you doing it though, like through all of them at once? Or are you just doing selectively one a day?
One at a time. I do, as soon as it's live, I will just start going through the old ones. I'll copy and paste it. I'll be like, it's the same update across however many campaigns I decide I want to do. And if I do, so here's what happened with this current campaign. I posted the sign up page on Facebook and social media and all over the place, let it run for 24 hours. I got all of 10 signups. The next day, I did an update across about, a dozen old campaigns, and I had 100 signups in less than about 12 hours. So and this is just for me, I get instant sort of hits from the updates. Plus, remember that your update sits there. So if someone just happens to come in and look around, the update's just there regardless of, how new it is. So I'm not saying it's the be all end all, but just don't discount it. Just don't discount it. Make sure you're using it as part of all of the things.
Yeah, I would still say, I would still say do it sparingly, not do it to all of them. That just to be
all of them, Onrie, all of them.
I will fight Tom tooth and nail on this.
All of them. I went all the way back to ones that I did like 5 years ago. Because that's free. Them, that's free launch, basically, right? Launch is going to tell all those people, like, "Hey, come see Tom's doing this thing." I get it for free.
So, Onrie, let me tell you the medium of what I do.
Yeah, sure.
Because I do updates. Onrie, I know you're working on a lot of your other books. You're still working on them. Mm-hmm. What I do is I do an update relevant to them, so I customize it.
Yeah, I did that. I actually did that the other day. That's a brilliant. That was something I did. So we just started working on Yisun Shin again, and I let everybody know, like, hey, we got the book. So I updated that group, and I said, hey, we got work with Yisun Shin underway, and we also have this other campaign. So yes, I think that's totally a great idea. Thank you.
Yes, that's definitely one good way of doing, especially if you have actual content to go with it, and then say, oh, by the way.
Yeah. And that's not me just saying like, hey, I think like just to get ahead on it, I think it's a really damn good idea because it's letting those people know from previous campaigns that like you haven't forgotten about that project. You're making progress with it, but you also got this other thing going on right now, and they should check it out. So it's really great. And Travis, I will definitely give BackerKit another shot. I think I was using it in kind of like a state of desperation last time, and I might hit you up later if you don't mind.
There's some strategies on when to send and how often to send.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then the last thing, there's a way to send messages to all your backers. I'm not going to say that live because I don't want people to know it, but I can tell you how to do it. Most people know how to do it, and I'll show you offline. But there's a way. I don't recommend doing it more than once a campaign, but where you can send all your previous backers for Warline stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Gentlemen, I hate to do this. I got to get going. I'm late for a sales show right now, but I'm sorry I was late. I'm sorry for everything. But thank you for all of your wisdom. It is such a pleasure and honor being around you guys.
Before you go,
yes.
Two things. One, I'm going to back Travis on the whole, make sure you do a sales show, because that's you are a great salesman. You do it great at cons. You sell the shit out of everything. You need to do that more online when you're doing your campaigns. Do more of that. And two, tell everybody out there where they can find you. And so after the show, they can go watch yours.
Absolutely. No, guys, I will be on the experience right now, just slinging collectible comics. And I will happily pitch any of these guys' books if once I get my hands on them. But yeah, we're about to go live right now. I got a new collection of books that I just picked up from a local show. So we're going to be doing $2 comics right now. Come on, hang out, and we can talk about the Warline campaign a little bit more. And I will see you guys in just a minute. Thank you guys so much. Bless you all. You guys are great. Tom, best of luck to you finishing out that campaign. And Rob, JD, Travis, always a pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
All right, Onrie.
All right.
Hey. All right, Ronnie.
All right.
All right. Well,
Busy man.
He is a very busy man. I was actually shocked he accepted when I asked him.
Did he accept, or did he say, I will come at my own time? Hold on. I love Onrie, and I will say this to his face. I have never got him to stay for a full thing that I've invited him to in my
And he doesn't even have a wife to yell at him anymore.
Right. He's got nothing.
not to play, fun to that, what happened with that situation. But anyway, all right. So, Travis, since sorry that we lost our other questionnaire.
Technical issues.
With the three of us, we will be able to work through your topic. So tell us, sir, you sent it to me earlier and I liked it. Go.
Yeah. So, I think everyone here, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn. All of our publishing companies were made to publish our shit, and really, it's just we wanted that extra logo, right? It was Tom Hutchison stuff, and Big Dog Ink is there. It's like he said when he started, 95% of it. I know, Rob, it's only been your stuff. JD, I'm pretty sure it's only been your stuff.
Yeah.
The same thing as me. But over the years, and like all of you, actually, Orange Cone has become its own thing. It's kind of its own thing. And I'm starting to do more and more publishing deals. I have a lot lined up for 2025. And there's a new trend in comics, especially if you look at Image, where there's Skybound. So Image, but it's Skybound comics. Or there is, name it right now. The one with Geiger and
Oh yeah.
What is it? Anyways,
those guys. The other guys in Image.
I'm struggling with that. That's really going to make me mad now.
Ghost Machine.
Ghost Machine. There you go.
Ghost Machine. Yeah, there you go. Ghost Machine. And all these different people have their kind of sub brands, and it's not uncommon in a Scout book or an Arctic Press book or something to have the dual logos. My question is, do I need that? Is it useful to me to continue to build this Orange Cone brand? Because long term, I'd like to be able to break into my own things and just be hired as a writer, and then be able to use Orange Cone as a stepping stone for people who I believe in. Still have my own books there, but be able to publish other people's books. Right now, I need it more as a platform for me than to help other people. But as I hopefully grow into a different phase, because I really want to go into the direct market more. I know there's not a lot of money there, but that's really where my dream is. I'll figure it out. So that's my question: is it useful to continue to co-brand, to make contracts complicated, to make sure I have that part of it added?
Well, do you mean, how do I ask this question? Do you mean co-brand with other people? Like if you and I were to do something like Orange Cone Big Dog co-branding, or do you mean creating an additional brand within your brand?
It's more of if I was writing a book for, not necessarily yours. So let's say you and I were partnering and you hired me to write, obviously that wouldn't be appropriate. But let's say I came up with a independent IP and I published it, or for another company like a Scout or a Source Point. It's my stuff. Scouts obviously
like what you do with Band of Bards and
Band of Bards. I do it with the Orange Cone, but I always regret not doing it for Granite State Punk because I think there is a through line where I could get business, and then I've got other ones where I think that's where we do kind of like the production team. Like we've done a lot of production for people where they really want Jerome. They really don't. Well, they don't know that Jerome. They think I do everything. I inform them that I do Jerome, but I'll happily take your money and pay Jerome. And then we do kind of production of it. So we got a production credit inside the book. So I'm just trying to figure out, is there a benefit to that, or does that actually hurt me? Because, should I just be seen as the writer separately from Orange Cone, really distant those self for long term?
Well, why would you create an IP for someone else?
Well, it'd still be my IP, but they would have a brand to help me into the direct market into places that wouldn't necessarily see me.
But wouldn't you still want to, like, for example, kickstart it, make it you, and then move it to another publisher? Because that's kind of what happens now. Is a lot of people do Kickstarter, Scout, AP, whoever will pick them up and take like that existing book, and take it, versus like, hey, I made a thing and it exists, go. You know what I mean?
That's a good actual example with AP. Like Tom, you with Critter, like they don't use your logo; they just use theirs, right?
Right. I've never even asked them, to be perfectly honest. It didn't even bother me. But I mean, there's tons of examples. You talk about Scout. Scout does this all the time. Someone will crowdfund a book,
right,
like a new book, and then that guy will be like, "Hey, publish the book." So I guess I have many questions and many answers for you with all of this, but I guess my question would be, even if you want to get to the direct market, if that's sort of the dream, why not always start with Orange Cone and then move it somewhere else?
Well, so that's 8 out of 10 times that's going to be the case where I do but there's several books and that I'm actually being paid to make. I'm being paid to make for them. I still, I fought for my rights to get independent, but they're paying for the production of the book.
But it's still your IP?
It's still my IP.
Okay.
I've had really good negotiating twice.
I mean, that sounds like a win-win right there. I mean, honestly, I don't know why you would want to get rid of Orange Cone when you can you're still doing your Orange Cone thing and marketing yourself just fine. I mean, I think you just, unless you run out of time where you can't do any more Orange Cone stuff, then like if you have a group of people who are still working with you, they could manage the Orange Cone stuff and you can continue writing for the direct market, people. That kind of is like the bridge you need to cross and decide where you want to go if you have the infrastructure to keep Orange Cone going while you're going down the direct path.
Well, and I think we all understand that what Travis is talking about is not normal. That's not a normal, like, I will pay you to make a thing. Like that doesn't happen unless someone's investing in it. You know what I mean? Like angel investor or whatever. So that's a very obscure thing. Like my thought process immediately when you started to talk about it was Pat Shand, right? Where he has space in between, but then he also has Cheeky Comics, and he's got two brands sort of coexisting, and now he's doing a third and so on and so on. But it all kind of is in this umbrella of space in between. So in that regard, I think that there can be value, particularly if you're going to like sort of have like he does with various genres, right? Yeah. So like if you wanted to make like a heavy duty, like, I don't know, Cthulhu brand within Orange Cone, you could create like Green Cone and, have that all be Cthulhu stuff, right? And there could be some value in that. There could be some marketing sense in that where people know to go there for that thing, just like people go to Cheeky for that because whatever else doesn't have it. So it's something that I've even considered because I've got all this cat girl stuff, right, with Critter, but it's all under Big Dog Inc. And it's like, so we're Big Dog Inc., but we have cat characters. Like, is there a way for me to like separate and create an imprint for Critter within the umbrella, and does it matter, whatever?
I think Little Kitty Inc. sounds great.
Yeah.
It's got to be kitty though. Don't say cat. You've got to do kitty.
Yeah, I will be
But you
sued
can't say
immediately.
hello there.
I will be sued immediately if I use kitty in any capacity. Yeah.
I mean, can I be the dissenting voice here? I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you, Travis. I mean, if I was you and you're looking to move into the direct market, you're looking to move into these different spaces, I think the thing you need to most focus on is your name, Travis Gibb.
Sure.
You understand? Because the thing is if Marvel were to come to you, they're not gonna want Orange Cone.
Right.
They're gonna want Travis Gibb. Think of Cullen Bunn. Cullen Bunn, he's worked for everybody, and he's
Worked
not
for
working
me.
on it. Right. There you go. Exactly. All under Cullen Bunn, and that's how we all know him, right? So he spread himself, wide and far. You understand, and we all know him because of it, right? I don't think you want to get stuck in a place where you're gonna have a publisher questioning, when I hire Orange Cone, am I really getting Travis Gibb? You understand? Or am I getting, I don't know, Julio? You understand that's working underneath Travis today. Right. You understand? So I think that's the thing that you really need to concern yourself with. If you want to establish yourself as a writer, you want to work on your name. That's my sense of it. That's how I would look at it.
Yeah, that's always been a struggle with me because I don't want to be a publisher, but I'm really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really want to be a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
As with most indies.
Well, but I think as Travis is growing at his point right now, though, Orange Cone becomes the place that people know that's where Travis is. Also,
right.
He's like he's synonymous with it, like I'm synonymous with Big Dog Inc. It's just it's the same thing. When you say Travis or Orange Cone, it's the same thing as Tom and Big Dog Inc.
Yeah, but do you really want a fan saying, "Oh, Orange Cone," or do you want them to say Travis Gibb? You know what I mean?
To be perfectly honest, as long as they're saying one or the other, I'm fine. Now, on the flip side, though, what you said earlier, do I want Dynamite to say Tom or Big Dog Inc.? I want Dynamite to say Tom, but I don't care what the fans say. If the fans say Big Dog Inc., that will lead people to me. If they say Tom, it will lead people to the company. Mm-hmm. But as I start to work for other people, like Travis is now working for other people, you want those relationships to be Travis relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird because I try to market Lone Wolf Comics more, but people are like, all of my stuff is synonymous with me. Because obviously I'm always wearing the hat. I'm always wearing the logo. Like I say, hey, I'm Lone Wolf Comics.
What a shill.
But right, but still, people still are like, they're like, oh, this is Rob Multari's book, and I'm like, which is good for me, having my own brand and all. But even so, I'm still like, when I try to sell it, like on my website, I'm like, hey, this is my website. This is Lone Wolf Comics. It's buy stuff here. But on Kickstarter and on Facebook, most traction I get is from my personal page or from my, with Kickstarter, it says Rob Multari. It doesn't say Lone Wolf Comics, but Lone Wolf Comics, the logo's everywhere. So again, I think, and you have your own as well, and I think you do have a Orange Cone as well, if I'm not mistaken. You have two Kickstarter.
No. I just have Travis.
Okay.
I have a secret account, but yes, I have Orange Cone, and then
for his NSFW work.
No. I don't have a secret one that I've done.
That's Double Cone.
Yeah.
Double Cone. Soon to be followed by Triple Cone. There you
double
go.
scoop.
Now that you put that, if Pat's still watching, now that you put that in his head, he's going to want to purchase that from me. He wants double cones.
Pat's going.
But let me ask you a question, Tom, because it didn't come to your attention. But if you were thinking ahead, do you feel it would have been beneficial to you to get, for people who bought the Critter, the Anarctic Press thing, when they looked at the inside cover, seeing the Big Dog Inc. logo, to go back to you that way?
Yeah,
or if someone grabbed your name, they'd find it eventually anyways.
Yeah, I mean, when I was with Aspen, we dual logoed everything. They were like, yeah, we don't care. Like, put the thing on it. And I was like, fine. And because for me, it didn't matter to me. All I wanted was the book to be in front of people's faces,
Right.
you know, that the Aspen fans' faces. So even in this case, it's like, I just want Critter to be in the AP fans' faces. So I wasn't really concerned with like, hey, we got to brand all this stuff up. It might be something that I talked to them about. And I do know that they have in the past worked with some folks where they've even done like Kickstarter links, or not links, but like, hey, you can get this on Kickstarter, you know, whatever
Right.
it is. So that's something that I might like go down the line and be like, hey, can we start throwing Kickstarter ads, BDI ads or whatever in the back? Like, are you okay with that? And if they are, then that's just more eyeballs for me. I'm happy to do it. But I was at the time, I was so removed from the retail, the LCS market.
Right.
I was like, I don't care, man. Do whatever you want to do. Just set it up, do it. I don't want to do anything. You know, do your logos, do your thing. I don't want no part of that. Here's the files, go. So that was where I was when it all started, and it went really well. And so, you know, now maybe it's time to come back and be like, how do we help cross promote a little more? I mean, they don't seem like they would be like, oh, fuck that, dude. They seem pretty open to kind of whatever we want to do. So
Yeah, I think that depends on the publisher too.
yeah.
Like,
100%.
they seem pretty laid back when it comes to stuff like that. Whereas, like, I feel like Image would be like,
yeah, for sure. For sure.
The comic company that paid me to do series. So Coins of Judas, I it's the public knowledge. Coins of Judas, I'm paid to make that book for $1,000. So I'm paid to make that book. And they came to me and asked to make an ad, and I was like, I can give an ad for that, but like, really, it should be your ads because it's your paying for the book. You should be promoting your other books in the line. So you're paying for me. You probably saw some value that I would bring people into the door. You should use that in the door, not to keep them in my door, but to help your door. It's now been a couple of years where I'm like, yeah, please put my ad. All of them. The trade has my ad, but when we started, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, so I think the answer to the question is kind of, you know, I don't think there's a right answer, but I think if your goal is to drive yourself into the general, you know, retail market,
Right.
you want your name to kind of be the standout above anything else, you know, which makes sense. You know, you want a company to say, hey, who wrote that thing? Travis Gibb. And then they want to go find Travis Gibb.
Yep.
Or Travis LaFay, either way.
So, Travis, that help?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well,
And make Green Cone and put all your Cthulhu and monster stuff under Green Cone.
and then double cone for all the non-safe.
Double code for not safe for work because I'm known
triple
for that.
cone for the triple X stuff. So there you go.
For the real.
Really hardcore.
In fact, I should launch all 3 Kickstarters at the same time. All 4. You know, this is the Orange Cone version. This is the Cthulhu version. Same book, just, you know, do a little more graphic. Here's the double cone version, just sexy, and then triple cone. You know?
But is it Marvel going to start doing red band versions of their books too? So there you go.
They are. So
Mm-hmm.
it's working.
Yeah, those dudes
But
are
they
best.
didn't even come up with a new term, which is wild. Like, why steal somebody else's term? Like,
Mhm.
So, all right. Well, I mean, we're kind of we the intention was to have 4 people, and since we lost Eli, the original idea was to go 2 hours. That way, we talk to everybody's topic. I guess we could either just keep going and keep bullshitting, or we can just go around and choose our what was our key takeaway from this, and say our adieus. Well, it's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
So Twisters was terrible.
Was it?
I'm not shocked.
Was it? It's not like I was ever
No.
going to see it anyway. But
It's not terrible. It's just ordinary. It's very
just
ordinary.
meh.
Very ordinary. Yeah. It's watchable.
So it's like the original.
No, the original is great. Watch the original. It's great. Like, it's so good. And it's good for all of the reasons that Twisters is not good. Because there's no character. There's no charm. There's no cow. Spoiler alert. It's just lacking all of the things that made the first one that moment in time. Glenn Powell is good as sort of the John Paxson sort of style character. He's very good, but the rest of the cast just gets dragged. They have nothing to do. They do nothing to elevate themselves. So it's sort of like the Last Jedi of Twister movies. It's just the longest fucking Twister. It's like, Jesus, how slow is this thing going? Like, can we do something? No.
Tom's moon Jay fetish was not satisfying.
Oh yeah, no. Like, how do you not have a cow? How do you not have a cow in the sequel to Twisters?
There should have been 2 this time.
Well, remember, it's not a sequel, right?
It's a sequel. No, it's a sequel. It's a sequel. It has very small pieces that connect to the first, so it's a sequel. Yeah, it's a completely standalone story, but it has enough little.
There's the Easter eggs.
No, it's a sequel. Yeah, Easter eggs. Yeah, it's a sequel.
So it's not the Alien sequel to Aliens. So it's not the action-packed adventure from the horror movie that was Twister. That's what I was really expecting. There's more Twisters. They're coming right for you. You're gonna.
Well, yeah, in the title you would expect like a lot of Twisters, right? Like they're in the room, but no, like there's just not that many Twisters.
It's not Sharknado either.
Sharknado either. No. No.
2 cows and a shark. That's all they needed.
I mean, you could have changed the whole movie if you'd gone a little bit meta and a little bit nostalgic. It would have changed the movie, but no.
I mean, they even put the cow on the ride. If that's not, I mean, that's how important the cow was.
I know.
On that little stand-in ride that it just rained for you for a minute, and you were very confused while you're there.
There was a video.
It a sound stage?
It's like a sound stage.
Yeah, it was a sound stage.
And then the cow goes by and it's over, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, you're just like, what is this?
There's a video of somebody at the theater when it opened up, and there's a girl who's wearing a cow onesie outfit and just running back and forth before the movie starts. Just going, and whoever's filming it is like cow. Like they understood, they knew what was going on. They were like, we're having fun. But then the movie was.
Then there was no cow. They were the cows were let down.
No cow.
All right, gentlemen. Why don't we before we get into more cow discussion and shark, why don't we wrap this up? So, Tom, where can people find you and your work, sir?
We pretty much do the social media on Facebook for the most part. We are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all those places. And then, of course, right down there, bigdoginc.com. That'll take you to the web store. And BD14 that we talked about tonight ends a week from tomorrow. So 20, whatever that is, 24 hours plus, or sorry, a week, 8 days. I don't know. Next Wednesday, it's all over, guys. Next Wednesday. So you got about a week.
All right, cool. Sir Gibb, where can we find you?
Only my name. Do not do Orange. They told me never to mention my website of orangeconeproductions.com because that's not what I want. I don't want you to buy my books now because I'm
going to go I'm going to go on and get travisgibb.com right now.
I'm sure it goes for a premium.
I'm pretty sure I've owned that for a long time. I may have let it lapse, but I'm pretty sure I've owned it for a long time. But So get my books there at orangeconeproductions.com. Before I go to retail, direct market so I can make 10 cents a book, like God intended.
Maybe 15.
Not with Diamond's announcement. Did you hear Diamond's announcement today?
What did they announce?
They are selling to the direct market for the first time.
Really?
Like, this is retailers' fear forever. The reason why I'm mad. I shouldn't have brought this up. The reason why we don't have fucking numbers for comics is because comic stores don't trust Diamond to give them their numbers. So there's not one universal thing to get these numbers. Mm-hmm. And for years they've been saying, we're not going to do it. We're not going to give you it because you're going to steal our shit and try to get our customers.
Right.
And now they're stealing your shit and trying to get your customers. Because they are at the bottom of the barrel now. So they got to figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
This is America.
This is America.
It's going down with the sinking ship.
Jesus. And listen, they're going to be in a tough fight, man. DCBS and Midtown Comics and a couple of those other places have that shit on lock. Got a lot of customers.
Well, at least Luna did it like from the start. Like Luna was like, "Hey, we're retail."
Oh, yeah.
Like they came out flat and still do. You can choose or not to, but Diamond stealthily did it. But don't worry, like most things, it's going to be good for stores. They promise.
Oh, yeah. But
It's going to be huge.
It'll be good for everybody else but us. So yeah.
That'll keep me at that 10 cent instead of 15.
And then knock you down to 12.
But see, that's the thing, right? With people that are doing crowdfunding, none of that affects us
That's true.
at all.
Yeah.
Like precisely zero. Now, those of us that have some stuff in the direct market, like I'm through AP or whatever, who knows what that's going to mean. But for us that are, and this is what I was telling Travis, like, why would you want that direct connection versus just being like, I'm going to make my shit and then move it wherever I want to move it? Because the direct market has no bearing on what we do as creators with crowdfunding.
Yeah, as long
That's
as
one of the huge advantages of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's because Travis wants to write Peter Porker, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Specifically, yeah. They offered me Spider-Man. No deal.
Only if I can put Peter Parker.
Screw that Peter Parker guy.
I figure I'm white enough and I'm getting close to my 50s. I mean, any time now they should be knocking on my door, right? That's how they hire writers.
Hey, listen, I was on my way to work the other day. I saw CB Sabolsky. I should have tackled him.
Please do.
His office is their building is across the street from my building in Midtown.
I thought they moved to California.
No, not yet. I mean, maybe they will, but not yet.
Just the cinema.
DC was out there, I thought. DC went to
DC's
California.
out there.
DC moved.
Yeah, DC went with Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, Rob, sorry. Where can they find you and your work, sir?
Yes, so you can find me at Lone Wolf Comics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or I guess whatever Twitter you is called now. You could also find me at Rob Multari, the same place. Right now, I currently have a campaign going for this cute little cuddly feller here, as that you can also pair up with this one. That's inspired by this here kid's book. You can get the Wolfpack Pups and all that together at nightwolf.wolfpackpups.com. We end on August 9th. So if you have kids or you just like collecting plushies of werewolves and voodoo dolls, please give us a little back.
All right. And I'm JD Calderon, the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles. I have stuff coming up, Kickstarter, all that jazz. Have a show on Sunday nights where sometimes I have Tom, sometimes I have Travis, sometimes I have Rob, and we just talk the madness. We just talk about all the craziness that this business has, right? And I'm there with JD Rosario and all this other stuff. And just remember, everybody, down in the show notes, there are links, everybody's links to their campaigns. Please click on them. Buy those books. They're awesome books. Travis makes awesome books. Tom makes awesome books. Rob makes awesome stuff and books. Right now it's stuff.
Stuff and things.
Exactly. Things. So please go check them out. And just remember, buy more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everybody.